One of the reasons why I am just like so thankful for the USC is because I always say this, like at 16, I probably would have been in prison. At 17, I probably would have been dead. Like, I know that sounds super dramatic, but it's real. Like, I don't know where I would have been without the USC and the mentors pouring into me. I guess you can say that, yeah, I just wasn't like other kids in the community. I didn't have a super hard life, but I did have things that I did struggle with in my home. Just identity, growing up in a house with basically all girls, and then my stepfather. My stepfather was the one that basically raised me. He was my father figure. I remember that I had just played a soccer game early in the morning. I believe that we won that soccer game. Me and my little sister both played soccer. So my stepfather decided to take my older sister, my younger sister, and I to, I think it was like a Family Dollar, which we thought was like a toy store at the time, because, you know. So we go in Family Dollar. My stepdad's like, pick out whatever you guys want. You guys won the game. I got this little boxing punching bag thing, whatever it was. It was like a little punching bag on a pole, you know, something from Family Dollar. So my stepfather took us home. He, of course, had a couple of errands to run, like parents usually do. So he said, hey, I'll be back later tonight, and I'll set up your toy for you. Don't worry about it. Don't try to set it up. I'll be back later tonight, and I'll set it up. I want to say it was like 10 o'clock at night. I called my stepfather, and he answered, and we had a conversation. I was like, hey, are you still coming? And he said that he was on his way shortly. He had a couple things to do, and then he was going to be on his way. And he was set it up for me. He said he promised he would set up the toy for me. So about 30 minutes after, I want to say about 30 or 20, 30 minutes after that phone call, I got another call. I believe I was the only one up in the house at the time. It was an aunt of mine, and she asked to speak with my mother, and for some reason I just felt the pain in her voice. My best friend's mother came and got us, and we went over their house, and I want to say that afternoon my mom came and she took me and my big sister out into the parking lot, and she had told us that our stepfather had passed away, and me and my older sister just began to cry on my mom. My mom hugged us, and we just began to cry. Losing him, I felt emptiness. I had nowhere else to look. I didn't have any really other male figures around that I really looked up to. So I was very confused on who was going to be my father now, who was going to do these things for me, like how was life going to change. I had so many questions in my head. So at the beginning of high school, I got connected with a group of friends from a different local school, and I would hang out with my friends from the other school, and we would like go party, and we would like eventually, first it was just going to parties, and then it was let's make our own party. These weren't like normal parties. Like I was like, these aren't like normal high school parties. These are like 80, 90 people coming. Like there were things that probably shouldn't have happened at party, like these parties, like these high school parties, but like it was just crazy. Like there was things that shouldn't have happened. I was always involved with the USC. You know, I came on Wednesdays nights. I wasn't necessarily focused on my walk in Christ. I was just kind of coming just to hang out with friends and things like that. But Then the more I got involved with the soul food, the more I started to look at my life. I eventually asked Misha to be my mentor, and this is where things got confusing because I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice whether I was going to follow God or I was going to continue partying. See, once you start to feel God, it's like it's an unexplainable feeling. Like he just was pulling me so hard. Even like I remember probably like the last party I was going to, I just heard God's voice so clear, like that I didn't need to be there. He had something greater for me, and eventually I made a choice, and it was God. The mentors at USC really helped me just because like they were not only just like working here, but they were pouring everything they had into the students at USC. Not just me, it was my friends. Like I would invite my friends here, like they were pouring into them, they were mentoring them, they were teaching them about the Bible, and it just really like impacted like my whole outlook on life and the life I was living at the time. What the USC is to me is a home. It is a home for people like me, and it's an opportunity for people to get to know Christ. I can't even like explain like all the different things that the USC has done for me. Like it's just, if it did, we'll be here for hours. But yeah, it's a home. So clearly after making the decision of like following Christ and things like that, and watching the mentors and how they just like worship Christ, I decided I was just gonna come here every day after school, and I was gonna help with the kids, I was gonna help with Bible study, I was gonna help with things like that. And eventually, I wanna say maybe like a year after serving every day after school, I got offered a position as an intern, and this is like I believe my third or fourth year, going into fourth year, serving as an intern. After high school, I plan on going to school for interior architecture, and after getting my degree in interior architecture, I plan on going back to school and doing a degree in like maybe like somewhere in like ministry programming, where I would help people start their own ministry, so students and people around the world would have something like USC in their community. Before life at the USC, I don't know where I would have been without all these mentors pouring into me, with all these people actually taking time to just care about me, care about my walk in Christ. I don't know where I would have been. And I'm just being completely honest. This is truly has become my home. This is where I found myself. This is where I found my identity. And this is where God met me halfway.